where does the authentic leadership spirit come from? I'm here to tell you tonight that the authentic leadership spirit to which I speak tonight is a spirit that comes from the Alpha leader, God Almighty Himself. God, being an Alpha leader, gives and dispenses His leadership spirit with the leadership qualities to advance a people, to lift the lid, and to progress humanity forward. That's where the Spirit comes from. It's from God. But everything God seeks to utilize to liberate humanity and bring us to new levels of operation, new levels of possibilities, new breakthroughs, new visions, new dimensions that would affect the future. Everything that God does in that light and in that vein, darkness also seeks to replicate and duplicate. But you know the difference between the two spirits in that God's Spirit liberates and lifts people to achieve those things that otherwise would have remained totally impossible. Whereas the Spirit led by darkness, coining itself with the name leadership, always causes misery, pain, anguish, degradation, shame, and puts the people in poverty and displaces them, marginalizing them, ostracizing them from the maximum opportunities that are available. So we have to start off by understanding there are two spirits at work. One is the authentic leadership spirit from God, which I said a little earlier is about liberation, versus the other spirit, which comes from the evil one. I call that the spirit driven by darkness, which does one job: incarcerate, yoke people down, weigh them down. They are hopeless and bereft of hope in anything that will maintain their lives, and their lives are set adrift, much like a drifting ship without a sail and without an anchor. So we're talking about leadership in that context, and I want to differentiate that very quickly for us so that all of you that are listening can understand. Look around you. I'm talking about leadership in the family. I'm talking about leadership in the church. I'm talking about leadership in our systems and our institutions. I'm talking about leadership in education and educational empowerment. I'm talking about leadership in terms of community development, national development, nation building. I'm talking about leadership in our legal systems and our infrastructure of law. I'm talking about leadership in the political arena and in every arena that engage human beings, put there to move us forward. The end result of where we are versus where we ought to be, we have to look to either the spirit of light being in charge or the spirit of darkness. God's spirit is about liberating people, making their lives better, lifting them up, giving them hope where they were otherwise hopeless, and causing them to achieve great and mighty things. That's God's Spirit in charge. And we don't have to be calling God out of our lips every minute of the day, but we are led by a spirit that is a spirit of excellence versus that dark spirit that puts us in bondage. It's a spirit of mediocrity. It's a spirit of pain and anguish. It doesn't lift the lid, it shuts the lids down on people's lives. So here we are. God's Spirit doesn't seek personal gain and aggrandizement. It doesn't seek to get wealthy. It doesn't do what it does to engage in the human interaction for money and gain and economic opportunities just for self. It's not a selfish spirit. God's Spirit is not a selfish spirit. Persons driven by that spirit are motivated to do what they do for the betterment of the community, the betterment of their nation, the betterment of generations yet unborn. The idea and thinking is towards the future versus the spirit of darkness that is extremely selfish. It's all about what's in it for me, baby. It's all about corruption. It's all about the dark things that we see and we hear so much in our world. While people are in leadership positions, they claim that they want to do better for God's people, for the nation, for the society, for everyone at large. But we now have to look at what ends up coming out of people. That's the snippet for the day that I want to leave with you. The spirit of leadership. We want to get back to the leadership we once knew, where people was in it to win it only for the purpose of what was driving them forward, to see a better Bahamas, to see a better tomorrow. And that is my hope, that that spirit would ignite again. It would ignite through these waves or on this platform, over this media, that persons hearing this will once again understand that darkness prevails and succeeds when righteous men and women keep their mouths shut and do nothing. This is Bernard Young, trusting that you will rise up and be accountable in this moment, and let's get the authentic leadership spirit back in our land, back in our families, back in our churches, back in our educational system, back in our systems and our institutions, back in our government, back in the legal system where there is fairness and justice and jurisprudence is meted out, not based on who you know and who for you, but it's based on what is right and proper. That in every engagement we be a better people and let the Spirit of God prevail, because our Constitution puts us as a God-fearing Christian nation, a people that value diligence and value worth and value human beings and human life and human enterprise. God bless you. May this program bless you, and may you now rise up, speak out, be better, do better. As long as you hold a leadership position, you are the one who must make the change. Thank you very much for listening.